Hi, everyone. Jumping right back into the reflections. We're on week 4. Crazy. So I'm just going to go right into the questions for the week. The first one asks, where am I at in my placement process? And honestly, I'm not quite sure. There's no real title or um, there's no real way to describe where I'm at. Right now, I am awaiting a meeting with my advisor on Monday. I sent my cover letter and my resume to her, and we will go over it, make any corrections where necessary. And after that, she's going to send it off to potential employers, firms, and companies, someone that will offer me a internship. It was a bit tricky getting to the point that I'm at, which brings me to the second portion of this question, which asks is what are my highs and lows of the placement process? And one low with getting to the point that I'm at now was that Moodle, which is the online service that we use, what is very troublesome. Um, we were not able to submit the cover letter and the resume onto the website, which is what the advisor asked before she could set up an appointment with us. There was no submission link anywhere on that website, and we weren't really provided any true guidance on what we should do. So I took it upon myself to contact the advisor and ask, how do I go about it? Am I using the site wrong? Things like that. And she was very responsive, very helpful. And after like contacting another advisor and all that other stuff, we just came to the conclusion that I should just directly send her the cover letter and the resume instead of trying to work with Moodle. Because honestly, it was several weeks, about 2 weeks, that I didn't have those things submitted. And it wasn't that I was being lazy or neglecting my responsibilities, it was just that the website was not working. Um, but on the flip side, a high that I have been experiencing is that each week going to the seminar has been very exciting. It gets me pumped up to listen to the colorful conversations of the other Cape Towners as they talk about things that they envision happening while they're in Cape Town, going in Shark Tanks and other things of that nature. It was just, we just have very exciting conversations. So that's been a high in comparison to the low of Moodle not working and cooperating for me. So the second question asks is, what are the top 5 things that I'm most excited for about going abroad? And my list is, I think it's all right. So my number one thing is the scenic views that I know that I have the potential of seeing. Cape Town is right at the very base of Africa, and I know that I can see the ocean. However, there's mountains. There's Tabletop Mountain. There's the Sahara, not the Sahara, but like desert type stuff, because you can go on a safari. So there's all these different scenic views available, and I'm really, really, really excited to go experience that. Second thing on my list is that I'm excited for the adventure. I've never been outside the country, and Cape Town is my first location that I want to be at, and I've been hearing that it's an amazing place. So I'm ready for the adventure of discovering the city more. So that's my number 2. And my number 3 is experiencing a new culture. Right now, like being at Iowa, there's a lot of international students. A new friend that I've made, his name's Sanjeev. He's been telling me all about his time in Sri Lanka, which is right next to India, and the differences and the things that he's experienced while living overseas. And I think I'm going to have that same type of perspective when I go to Cape Town, that I'm going to be the one saying, this is my experience while I'm there. And trying to connect in that way. So I think I'm just going to have like a foreigner's perspective instead of being on the receiving end. I'm going to be giving it. My fourth thing, I'm sorry, jumping the gun. My fourth thing that I am excited about is the newness of everything. Just the daily activities that I'm going to be doing, the interactions that I'm going to be making with locals and my coworkers, and just everything about Cape Town. I just feel like it's just picture perfect paradise. So I'm really excited about that. And my fifth thing, finally, is I'm excited for the food. I'm a picky eater, but I'm excited to see what they are all about. I hear great things about this bra, this barbecue. I'm not a huge barbecue fan. I absolutely hate barbecue sauce. I don't eat pork, but I'm willing to try it. Just it's life experiences. You got to try one thing once. So I'm ready for that. And then the third question of the week asks, what are reservations that I have about going abroad and the daily um, activities that I'm going to be doing and what I'm going to be experiencing at work and things of that nature. And my five starts with adjusting my sleep schedule. Right now, I wake up in the middle of the night and I don't sleep throughout the night, so I'm kind of restless. And when I wake up and go throughout the day, I'm a bit tired. But I know when I go to Cape Town, it's probably going to be the same thing. The only issue is that I want to experience the Cape Town nightlife. I want to know the difference between my daily going to the internship type life to like what happens when the lights go out. I want to see that. But what I'm worried about mostly is not being able to experience that because one, my sleep schedule will have to be adjusted and I may wake up tired for work or something. But also, it's just I'm not familiar with the danger level of Cape Town. So I I wouldn't be so comfortable being out late like I am in downtown Iowa City because I know what to expect. I know that law enforcement is around if anything pops off. So, yeah. My second reservation about going in daily life is transportation. I'm not too well with public transportation. It took me an awful long time to figure out the CAN bus system. I was always in the wrong spot. So just imagine being in another country, not familiar with the area, and trying to use public transportation. Um, I've never lived in a big city or anything. I've always lived in Iowa City, so there's never been a need for a subway or a train or a taxicab because I've had my own car. So just like that dependence on needing transportation will be a bit difficult to adjust to. My third thing on the list is the currency. I am not too comfortable with the conversion rates. I understand that everything in Cape Town is a lot cheaper compared to the American dollar. It's just that I I know that there's a bartering that needs to take place, and I don't think I'm comfortable with just telling somebody how much they should charge because I don't know the true worth of some clothing or a knickknack. I don't know. So I probably will get overcharged because I'm a foreigner and they know that they can cheat people out of money. Um, my fourth thing, it was also on the things that I was excited for, but it's also a reservation of mine, is that food. I'm a picky eater. I don't like if it looks funny or if it yeah funny or if it smells a certain way, I am not eating it. And I know that going overseas, there's going to be the traditional food that I'm going to mostly probably run into. It's just flavors and things. I just am not comfortable eating that. So I think I'm going to be sticking to a hamburger. But I do definitely want to branch out and try new things. Because even if I go to like a Chinese restaurant, I try frog legs or octopus or something unusual because it all tastes like chicken. And then my fifth reservation is a bit serious. Being a Black American, being African American, and going back to Africa will probably be a unique thing to experience because I don't I don't know how like I would be perceived or thought of because like I'm not necessarily I don't have any family roots or ties to Africa. I understand that it's the motherland, but there's a distinct difference between African Americans and Africans, and I'm not familiar with their culture or their traditions, their dance, their because what I've grown up in and what I've experienced and I've observed is the perception I've received from Black America. So I don't it's just going to be different. I spoke to an African friend of mine who lived in Africa, and I asked him the same question. I asked, "How do you think that Africans will see me being a Black American?" And he gave me this idea that I was going to be praised because America has done a great job of creating imagery and representing themselves as the most elite and powerful country on the planet. And he said that travels around the globe, everyone knows about America, and they get this vision in their mind that a GI will come slay a whole cavalry to save one American. He basically said that America holds true to their citizens and that because of that fact that foreigners are respectable, they respect you and they hold you in a high light. But I just don't know. I don't feel comfortable being like the star of attention. It's just so many things that play into that uneasiness. But those are the three questions of the week. Where I'm at in my placement process, what I am excited for, and what are some reservations that I have. So, catch you next time. Reflection 5.